Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. My name's Steve and this is a 5-minute review of Bloodshot from 2020. The film, which is based upon the comic book series from Valiant, stars Vin Diesel as the main character. Now, I'm not going to talk about how this compares to the comic book and how loyal it is to the source material because, to be honest, most people don't care. They just want a good action movie with Vin Diesel punching people in the face and shooting lots of bad guy. So does this film deliver that? Well, yes, sort of. So what is the film about? Ray Garrison is a soldier who goes into the bad parts of the world, kicks some arse, kills the bad guys, rescues hostages, then he comes home to his loving wife, and it's all good. It's perfect, in fact. Except one night something goes horribly wrong. During a mission, I'm not really sure because the story jumps around a little bit on purpose, and the reason for this becomes clear later on. Ray then ends up in a meat locker with a madman threatening his wife. They're both tied to chairs facing each other. And in a scene reminiscent of Reservoir Dogs, with a dancing man with a knife, the villain kills his wife in front of Ray, putting him on the road to revenge. Then Ray wakes up and finds out he actually died on his last mission. It all went wrong, and now he's been reborn due to nanite technology. Guy Pearce is the genius behind it all, and now Ray, along with 3 other wounded warriors who are also former soldiers, form an elite team, and they all have slightly different powers that they go out to use and hunt down the bad guys. The problem is, Ray is fixated on the bad guy who killed his wife. He can't let it go, so he breaks out, steals a car, and goes off to find and kill this bad man. And, as it turns out, he's kind of invulnerable. He heals very fast and can't be killed, although his his healing nanites have a limit. But even so, he prevails, he kills the bad guy, he reaches his limit and is effectively powered down. Then he dreams again about his wife being killed, only this time the man dancing in front of him has a different face. It soon becomes apparent that Ray, now referred to as Bloodshot, is being manipulated, and he's been through this kill cycle over and over again. He's a slave, effectively, being targeted at various people, not because they're necessarily bad guys, but they're business rivals, and people that Guy Pearce wants out of the way. So Bloodshot is wound up like a toy with a spring, his memories are changed, he's woken up and he's released to do what he does best. Go out and terminate. Take out the trash? Whatever. His job is to go out, kill a bunch of bad guys until he's put back in his box. So, in terms of an original twist, this is kind of fun. It's a little bit Weapon X, a little bit Wolverine-y, but he also breaks his programming. And Vin Diesel seems to be enjoying himself, playing the loving husband, but also the badass, kicking arse and taking names. Now, it's not a stretch for him or his acting chops, and he does this kind of thing very well. It's what he's been doing in the movies for nearly 20 years, with his gravelly voice and his vests. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Vin Diesel. I just wish they gave him more to do, but Hollywood does like a pigeonhole for actors, and this is his box, so they firmly keep him in it. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. It has a lot of action before it devolves into a CGI sludge fest at the end, which is a bit of a letdown. As a side note, why do they always have to do that? I get the films have to build up to a climactic finale. And in action movies, you want the hero and the villain, if there is such a thing anymore, to face off. But why does it always have to devolve into a CGI crapathon? It's what let me down with the end of Black Panther. And here again, it just becomes 2 CGI men defying gravity and the laws of physics, and I just start to lose interest because suddenly it's like a computer game and I don't care about the results anymore. Anyway, there are some interesting twists and some exciting action scenes. There's a little character development, but not a lot, given the cyclical nature at the spine of the story. Some of the characters do fall into the familiar stereotypes that we've seen before. There is the annoying, smarmy, tougher than you guy. There's the tough guy. There's actually the slightly tough but sensitive female character who's a supporting character who doesn't really get enough to do or have a story arc other than to serve the main character. Then, of course, there's the evil bad guy with epic plans to take over the world. For some reason, we don't really get into that. So, for an hour and 49 minutes, if you want something that's fun, explosive, with a storyline that generally makes sense and holds together, as long as you don't push it too hard, and you're watching it with a beer and some snacks on the sofa, then yeah, it's a good time for all. If you want something deeper, introspective and thought-provoking about the nature on humanity and what it means to be a good person, then you've come to the wrong place. But generally, it wasn't a bad film. So with all of that being said, and because we don't do half bags, I'm going to give Bloodshot with Vin Diesel 3 bags of action out of 5. Have you seen it? If so, get in touch and let us know what you think of it. Join us on the Facebook group. There are weekly episodes put out on the YouTube channel, so don't forget to check out those. We have a Ko-fi if you'd like to support us on there. But that's it for now. I'll be back soon with another movie review.